Let's spell Easter. Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. So there's a thread going around started by Music Sucker. So if you haven't subscribed to him, please do so. So Music Sucker started... saying that is weird. Music Sucker. Music Sucker started a thread where you have to spell out the word Easter. I watched a bunch of these videos, and I recently, just this morning, I saw This Is Music's, and he did Easter and spring so that it could be less, what's the word? Non-denominational? Something like that. I really like that idea. I wanted to look up a pagan holiday, but I'm in the middle of rearranging my room. You can't tell, but I have like piles all over my room. I got to get this done. So I nixed that idea, but I am going to spell Easter 3 different ways. If you know me, I'm going to use a variety of genres. Since I was so busy, I didn't go into my cassettes, my 8 tracks. Unfortunately, there's just too much of a disarray. But instead of doing all of them at once, I'm going to cross genre. So you get to see all that. I'm also going to make a promise. So all of the albums that I show today, I am going to do a deep dive on them, hopefully by Sunday. So I'm going to take this a step further. Whatever you see in this video, I will actually listen to them and review them with clips. Just a caveat. E, for some reason, was the hardest letter. Of all of my stuff, I was having the most trouble finding E, and there are 2 E's in this word. So E is the most common letter, but for some reason, when it comes to names, it's one of the least. Weird, ironic. So the first one we're going to start off with is E. Oh, no. Wait, E-A. What the heck? They're out of order. Here we go, E. So... the Everly Brothers, Wake Up Little Susie. I know, I've listened to this before. This is going to be a joy to review. They are gorgeous. So we got E right there. I don't know where to put this stuff. Okay, I'll put it at the bottom. Now, I have to take the opportunity to throw literature in here because, you know, I'm like the old uncle that you have to invite to Thanksgiving, and he's going to say all these weird, strange things, but you have to invite him. No, I'm going to talk about books and comics. Sorry. And I'm making you suffer because I'm mixing them in. Sorry, vinyl community. I have to keep you here, right? I can't have you watching just the albums and then leaving. So we're going to start with, here we go, George Eliot, Silas Marner. Okay. So there you go. I'm showing these mostly for the covers of the Penguin Classic Editions. Next, we're going to have comics. And with E, we're going to start... oh, the glare. Okay, we're going to start off with a Bill Sienkiewicz cover. This guy's art style is just grew leaps and bounds. Like, he became very stylized over the course of his comic book career. And look, that's Elektra Assassin. And that's a pretty cool cover. You got to admit, that is a cool cover. Way to go, Mr. Sienkiewicz. Okay, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Next, we have A. Okay, so here we have Praise Him by Eddie Arnold. Now, most people wouldn't bother to listen to religious music. I'm the opposite. Music is music. If it's good, it's good. Hey, there's so many people out there who are listening to these heavy metal albums where they talk about eviscerating babies. So if you can listen to that, you can listen to people praising Jesus. Wait for my deep dive. Maybe it's really good. You'll hear the clips. You never know. Next, we have Apollonius of Rhodes for the A. Jason and the Argonauts. That isn't the greatest cover, but it is, I think, the use of color in this one is really nice. Jason and the Argonauts. This is actually in verse form. I actually need to sit down and read this. I haven't read it yet. And then for comics, for A, we have The Avengers. Now, this is a period of time in The Avengers when I was growing up with George Perez. Wow, this stuff is gold to me. So this is number 174. I started collecting around the 30-cent mark, I think, or the late 25, early 30-cent mark. And yeah, this stuff it was just prime for my youth. This, look at Hawkeye swinging in there. That's ridiculous. Swinging in on a cable. All right, whatever. Oh, wait. Did you see all the other Avengers in these, like, test tubes? They're all, like, locked up. That reminds me of early X-Men when they were on a space station and all the X-Men were in these test tubes like that. That was pretty cool. That was really early in the... Okay, I'm geeking out right now. That was really, really early in the X-Men run when they first got the new team. And they didn't even know that Wolverine's claws were part of his body. And I think it was Jean Grey says, wow, they actually come out of your body. That was interesting. Like, they hadn't developed the character to the extent yet. All right, next we have S. Geek moment over. Now we have S. Help Me Make It Through the Night by Sammy Smith. So this is a lot of covers from the early 70s, like Sunday Morning Coming Down. That's, what's his name? Rick Stofferson? No, Nick Stofferson. It's a double letter. It's Rick Stofferson. Nick Stofferson. Chris Stofferson. There we go. Help me make it Sunday Morning Coming Down. Help me make it through this album cover. Help Me Make It Through the Night. Those are the only ones I recognize. So anyways, this ought to be interesting. I don't remember listening to this one too much. Okay, for books, we have S, and that's going to be Clark Ashton Smith. The Dark Eidolon and Other Fantasies. So this is I could be wrong. Like, I only read this, but this is okay because these are short stories and I can jump in and out. Usually I grab this around Halloween and I read a couple every year because this is, I believe this author is in the Lovecraft era and tradition. And now, are you ready for S? I grabbed an easy S just because I love this cover. So here we have the Spectacular Spider-Man. Sorry, the glare. So look at that. Now this is John Romita Jr. And so he's the son of a super famous Spider-Man artist. So the father took over after Steve Ditko, and he had possibly the most amazing run of comics in history. Like the whole Gwen Stacy, Green Goblin. Like, there's so many amazing comics in that run. Doc Octopus is developed. So anyways, this is his son, and he's been criticized a lot recently because his art has become super stylized. Like, this is his prime art, and I actually really like his new art. It's weird, it's quirky, it's off-putting for so many people. I should have an example to show you. So this is a recent example of his work. Now he's doing the current run of Amazing Spider-Man, and he's getting a lot of flack by fans. He was also really criticized for this. So this is Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. Doing Superman. So here's an example, 2 examples of his, you know, quite stylized. I mean, you could see his leg. Very different than what most comic artists would do. So that was a really geeky aside. All right. John Romita Jr. But anyways, this is earlier in his work. You could see how different that is. But what a gorgeous cover. I follow his career. I really enjoy his work. Like Sienkiewicz, he's developing and changing. And I think that's exciting for an artist, even if they have missteps. I want to see where he goes. Okay, next we have T. So look at this gorgeous cover. So this is Midnight for Two by the Three Sons Orchestra with pipe organ. Now, I wonder if this is going to have resonations of that Bach album that I just reviewed. But yeah, I really like orchestral work, and look at that gorgeous cover. So I'm looking forward to reviewing that, as I know you are. I grabbed a classic, Mark Twain. Look at that. Awesome cover art. So this is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Yeah, look at these Penguin classics are just awesome. So for comics, I'm a huge fan of The Thing, and so I grabbed this Marvel 2-in-1. Why? Because Brother Voodoo is going to be an up-and-coming character. Now, if I were a key collector, well, that ship has sailed. Like, Brother Voodoo comics are already skyrocketing. They're worth... There's so much money now, but I do have this appearance you know, in Marvel 2 and one other thing in Brother Voodoo. And so there's Brother Voodoo. So I think he's going to be in an upcoming Doctor Strange movie, but I'm not sure. He might even have his own movie. Not sure. Anyways, I don't keep up on that. I just go see the movies when they come out. Music from This Is Your Life. I guess this was a TV show, so that shows my ignorance. This Is Your Life. The E here is Ralph Edwards. So I look forward to diving into that. Hey, the first song is called Makin' Whoopee. Can't go wrong there. Who Will Shoe Your Pretty Little Foot? That ought to be fun to review. Okay, for the second E, like I wasn't about running all over my house. You know, I was having trouble with E's. So I grabbed 2 iffy E's. 2 negatives are going to come into 1 positive. Hey, I was taught that in math class. So I've got Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan of the Apes. So it starts with E. It's not the last name. And then I've got Ian McEwan. I'm sorry, his name is with an E. This is like extra, right? Ian McEwan. And if you've never read this book, it's phenomenal. Oh, I can't recommend this book highly enough. So good. This is a phenomenal writer. But this one is very short and concise. You can read it quickly, but there's so much in it. Such a great writer, Ian McEwan. Okay, so those are my 2 cheats for E. You know, don't get mad about it. Hell, get mad about it. Write about it in the comments at least. I'll get more comments, right? If this really pisses you off that I amalgamated 2 to make an E, then you put that in the comments. Go ahead and do it. I need some controversy. For the comics, I chose Event Leviathan. So this was a crossover event. I actually haven't read this, but I guess that is the villain, and he's got Batman and Green Arrow there in his clutches. So I actually have the collected edition. I need to read it. I'm behind. Okay, we have 1 letter left. If you've been with me this far, thank you, thank you, thank you. We got Lou Rawls Solon. Look at him. He looks sharp. That cover is amazing. If you don't have this in your collection, boo-hoo. Look at how beautiful this album is. Let's see, what? A Whole Lot of Woman is the... That's the first song. Love Is a Hurtin' Thing. What Now, My Love? Autumn Leaves. Okay, can't wait to review that one for you. Last book that you have to suffer through is Susanna Rosen. Look at that beautiful art. Wait, there we go. And I actually haven't read this one. Charlotte Temple and Lucy Temple. So I'm looking forward to that. I got that one used for $5.95. Hey. And it has someone underlined some stuff in it to help me out. That'll be a help. And finally, we're going to end with a comic with R. Rom. Look, Rom has given up. He's like, no more. I can't deal with you wraiths anymore. So I pick up Rom comics when I can. Marvel Comics is not likely to reprint this because they don't have the rights in epic format. And this was a really good story and a great run. It was really interesting. So if you don't know about Rom, he's traveling through the galaxy. There's a band of these people from their planet. He's a human encased in, not a human, an alien encased in armor. And he has to go through the galaxy and wipe out these wraiths, and they can assume any form. I know it's not original, but the comic took this really cheesy toy and did some really wonderful things with it. Now, as an adult, does it hold up? I haven't read it in so long. But as a kid, this stuff was fascinating to me, and that's a great cover. So yes, you had to listen to me geek out over Rom Space Knight. All right, I hope you've enjoyed my spelling Easter 3 ways, and 3 is a magical number, right? It's the Trinity. It all comes back to holy, and thank you, Music Sucker, for starting this thread and for all the other interesting videos I've watched. Everybody, again, thank you for your support.